Hello, my name is David DupriestD, and I will be giving your period of instruction over individual values, perception, and reactions. At the end of this period of instruction, you should be able to define values, emotions, perception, and reaction. You should be able to determine the types of each of the aforementioned. You should be able to understand how values, emotion, perception, and reactions relate and work in context with each other. And you should also be able to build an understanding and knowledge foundation in order to facilitate use in the organization. An attitude is the way an individual believes or feels towards an idea, people, or situations. These are very important and play a huge role in how a person relays the feelings that they have inside them. And these attitudes can be either positive or negative in nature, and they are formed very complex. Attitudes can be changed, but it is of a high difficulty level and takes maximum effort. In order to do that, you need to change your perception, the situation itself, or your behavior towards the situation. Cognitive dissonance is an incompatibility or conflict behavior between an attitude or between two different attitudes. Values dictate our way of behaving or an end state that is desirable to an individual or group. There are different types of values. Terminal values are your long-term life goals, such as your overall happiness, security, prosperity, your career. Instrumental values are the means in which we achieve our terminal values, or our preferred way of behaving. Intrinsic work values relate to work itself. Extrinsic work values relate to the outcome of doing the work. Conflicts can arise with values, such as between ourselves on the inside, or with other people, or even the organization that you work for can conflict with your values. Also, society and cultural values are different across the world. Emotions are intense, short-term, physiological, and psychological reactions to an object, event, or person that prepares us to respond. It kind of guides us through the situation. Perception is a process that makes us as individuals aware and gives us the ability to interpret information from the environment around us. And it's the way we process information. There are 5 different stages of perception. This includes stimulation, organization, interpretation or evaluation, memory, and recall. Our values and our attitudes tie in together. It's a cause and effect scenario. Our values normally determine our attitude and how we act. Stress is an adaptive response to stimuli that place excessive psychological or physical demands on an individual. And these are most often complex and misunderstood, as there are 2 different types of stress. There's good stress, which is eustress, which can make a person's performance better. And then there's distress, which is bad stress, which causes a lot of wear and tear on a person's psychological state. There are 4 components of stress: the notion of adaptation, the stimulus, the stressor, and the demands it places. The process of stress is called General Adaptation Syndrome, or GAS for short, and it includes the stages such as alarm, resistance, and exhaustion. There are many consequences of stress, not just for the individual, but also the organization itself. In the individual, stress can affect behavior, make people act out, have poor attitudes. It can affect them psychologically. People can have mental breakdowns, and it can also have a terrible medical effect. It can cause people to go into exhaustion and have heart attacks. For the organization, however, performance is greatly affected. People don't want to perform at the top level when too much stress is applied to them. It affects absenteeism by people not coming to work because they don't feel good there. And it also affects motivation to get the job done. Our reaction, or how we conduct ourselves when we perceive stimuli from the outside environment, will lead to one of two categories: fight or flight. Which fight is to stand up to the stressor or the demand that's placed, and flight is to flee and get as far away as you can from that. There are different methods to manage stress, and some of those methods are from the individual itself or from the organization that they can put into place. And an individual can use things like exercise, meditation, support groups, and have a healthy work-life balance. And an organization can put efforts into place such as an employee assistance program, a paid fitness program, change the work schedules or job design to reduce stress, or have internal stress management programs. Our attitude is affected by our values and how we believe. And our attitude also bleeds into our emotions and how we feel about certain things. And it also affects our reaction. So all of these are tied together. And it's very difficult to change due to the learned behavior that comes from a vast number of life experiences, from family and friends, how you grew up, your morals, and your intentions. Our values, perception, and reactions are very important to the organization because it can have the greatest effect on how the organization operates and the overall performance. It can affect the organizational goals and the culture, and it can make it a negative environment, which people don't want to work like that. It can also create workplace violence, dissatisfaction, a decline in motivation, and turnover